Hello, everybody, and welcome to All Blaze No Glory, the podcast. And this, for the first time, is the proper Caledonia Steel Queens section of the podcast that I promised. We're going to have a little look back at what's happened in the season so far, just with me. I'm hoping to do a review with Ashlyn Rafter soon. She wants to do Rafters Roundup, which, as it's got a catchy name, I'm all about. But tonight we're going to talk a little bit about our results so far. We are 5-5 if we include our game with Solway, which I definitely do. I was hoping to get off the ground with Solway, the Scottish Lineal Championship, which will kind of be like a WWE title belt kind of scenario where whoever has won last holds the belt until they lose it again. But I think they just called the game a challenge game. I tried to market it as like a big title game. I'm still looking to buy a championship belt for it, and they can either have it or not have it. It's up to them. But it's been great. It was great to get them up. Really good team. Really solid game of hockey. We managed to pull out the win against a short-benched Solway Sharks team, but a win against a team in a higher league nonetheless with a fantastic goalie is not to be sniffed at. Our league season, it's been interesting. There's a lot of new challenges, getting registrations right, international transfer cards, which we've never had to deal with before. And we've just had loads more players. And throughout that, what I think makes me so happy is that the Steel Queens have not shunned any development players. So we've always had a policy of if a player wants to start and they've never played the sport before, then we can be that pathway into the sport, even if ultimately your foray into the sport ends up being more at the recreational end than the sort of competitive end. We want to be there for all levels if we can be, and I'm hoping this is the start of something big, and we can grow this club to the point where maybe we have two teams competing at some point, or we can grow the club, even having development set up, development pathway, maybe a junior team at some point for girls, and really get some kind of movement in Scotland. So there's a pathway here to make sure there's lots of players available for the international sides in the future, as well as giving expats and stuff the chance to keep playing the sport in a competitive way. So anyway, our season started essentially in earnest on the 14th of October, 10:15 at night in Murrayfield for our first face-off. Basically, just to make life a bit easier for Widnes, we worked out a solution so they could come up on the Saturday, stay the night, and then go home on the Sunday at their leisure, rather than maybe getting home a bit late on the Monday morning, or early in the Monday morning, as it were. Game started off, it was pretty ropey. Like, we had a lot of chances, but we couldn't score, and I was getting a little bit concerned. And got even more concerned when Widnes scored the first goal in the first period, and we went into the second 1-0 down. It wasn't until last we have finally got our first goal ever in league hockey, and would you know it came from a girl who was in her first season with the Steel Queens, scoring her first ever goal for the Steel Queens at only at that time 17 years of age. She's now turned 18. Emily Camphouse, and that started to kind of started things going, and we got a bit of confidence going after that. Nikki Russell, formerly Nikki Finlayson, that my mum taught to skate many years ago, scored the next goal, and we hit a real purple patch in the third, banging in 8 goals in the third period to make it 10-1. But really, that in a way kind of was maybe a bit unfair on Widnes, because they'd hung in there for the whole game, and we just managed to get things going. And it was good. It was good to get things off the ground. It was good to get a win and good to get that confidence going. We had no idea what we were facing, and to win our first ever league game was class. We followed things up with a win in Grimsby, which is an interesting place to play hockey. It's really, really small compared to most ice rinks that we've played in. The people there are just lovely. Obviously we went out and played our game of hockey, and it was a tough game of hockey. But the ice rink staff were so helpful. They were filling water bottles for us, which is something they don't have to do. and just general really nice people, and we really enjoyed our trip down there. We came away 12-1 winners in that game, and appreciate people for probably thinking, well, that's two big wins in the first two games. What's going on here? It's not an easy league to play in. It's just getting used to it, and again, kind of, we were lucky we've got good scorers and stuff. And then we had a bit of a break for about a month. We were meant to play Kingston on the 12th of November. Unfortunately, that didn't come to fruition. That game's being rescheduled at the moment, and we'll hopefully have a date for that soon. But then we played our friendly challenge Scottish Lineal Championship game, whatever you want to call it, with Solway, and didn't know what to expect in that game. We rolled out 3-0 winners in the end. As we have in every game this year, we've been really good at out shooting teams, but we've not necessarily been good at having a high scoring percentage on our shots. So it's maybe something we need to work on. But Lizzie Meikle was in goal for Solway, possibly one of the best goalies in the whole WNHL. Excellent shot stopper, and very vocal goaltender as well. Made 60 odd saves, or maybe 50 odd saves in the game. But we did get Early's first shutout. Early's Hunter made some great stops to get it. So it wasn't like sometimes goalies get their first shutout, they face 2 or 3 shots. But yeah, nice to get the win against Solway in the league above. Give ourselves that belief that we can compete in that league if we do manage to, stay the course this season, which obviously at the moment we're in the driving seat, but there's a long way to go and a lot of tough teams to play still, so we'll see how that goes. And then next up, the following week, it was after a month off, it became a bit of a crash bang wallop final few weeks off to Sheffield, in a game where we didn't start amazing. We sort of started a bit slow, but we still managed to finish the first 3-0 up. It had a bit of a poor second period. Let Sheffield back into it. 4-3 up at the end of the second period, after little bits of sort of mental mistakes and stuff from the team, but it's a tough place to play down in Sheffield, and we're tired bodies. A couple of players that had played for the Eagles the night before and things like that. But we managed to in the make some adjustments going into the third, and scored 5 unanswered in the third, and came away with a 9-3 win. Again, it might be one of these scorelines. It's a little bit unfair to Sheffield considering how close the game was throughout. But it was a great place to play, and we managed to come away with 2 points there, and that was the main thing. These away games are going to be the tough ones. Getting can't get a full roster necessarily for them. We have to make adjustments on the fly. And then the following week, our most recent game, 3rd of December, got a decent crowd considering it wasn't just 2 Scottish teams. Whitley Bay came up, played us on the 3rd. Their regular goalie wasn't available, so Lizzie Meikle, the favoured Lizzie Meikle, played in goals for them, and turned away. We had 84 shots on Lizzie, and we scored 6, which means that Lizzie saved 78 shots. We conceded 2, and it was a really tight game. Whitley Bay never gave up the whole game, even when we went 4-0 up going into the third. They just kept battling away, and we actually tied the third period 2-2 on the way to the 6-2 victory. It's great to see some other players like step up and scoring coming from slightly different areas. Caitlin Monk, who had only really played, she played 1 league game in the game against Solway, managing to score twice, 2 absolutely beautiful wrist shots. The only player that actually scored on the first try against Lizzie. Nearly every other goal was some kind of scramble where we eventually managed to get it in the back of the net after a lot of sort of battling and bopping away in front of the net. So glad we got out of there with a win, because that could have easily turned the other way, the way that the Whitley Bay team were defending. But we now sit currently, it might not be in a couple of weeks' time when other games have happened and we've been sitting idle. But we managed to finish our first part of the season with 4 wins in the league from 4, and currently sit top in our own right. We're undefeated, and so are Leeds. Leeds have only played a couple of games though, so they've got games in hand on us. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on playing in the weeks that are sort of the fallow weeks for us. But I'm excited for the next part of the season. We've got Telford up first in what will be Pride Week, and so we'll be wearing our Pride jerseys down there, and then we're playing Grimsby at home, also in our Pride jerseys, and more details about how you can get along to that. But we're not all just about the league hockey with Steel Queens. We also have development players. We have other things going on, and this past Wednesday, the 6th of December, we had what we normally do as our annual Christmas Cup, which is a cross-ice tournament. We split the club up into 4 teams, or sometimes 6 teams. We've done it before, but it's better with just 4. And play a cross-ice tournament over the course of what would be the training session, and then they play a round robin, and then there's a sort of final and a third and fourth playoff, and the winner gets a box of celebrations or heroes or whatever, and it's just a great bit of fun. The development players get in on it, and everybody mixes in, so we get all different combinations of people who have never played before. Some people don't know each other so well. And of course, you spend basically an hour with that group of people, so a smaller group of different people you don't know. So it works really well at intermingling. So what I did was, it's really good. I've been so blessed this year with the Steel Queens of having several different coaches to help me out. I took the opportunity to not only time the games and just take the scores in with the help of Mum. We worked out who had won the round robin. Sorry about that. It's late at night when I'm doing this. But I also took the opportunity to do some interviews, as well as take loads of photos. And I thought we could just talk through the Christmas Cup and get some of the players' thoughts, because you don't want to just hear my voice when I'm talking about the Steel Queens, because at the end of the day it's about the players, it's about the girls that are playing the hockey, and not just about me doing a podcast, which I love doing, but you want to hear some of the voices of the other players. So first up, I spoke to Bradley Santelli, who... an American girl, and she had joined us for the Christmas Cup night. I think it was our first Christmas Cup, but she was pretty excited to be there, and here's her interview now. So I'm joined between shifts with Bradley Santelli. How's the Christmas Cup going so far?
I'm having an absolute blast out here. I'm really feeling the festive spirit and just loving having fun with the gang. It's great. I love to see all the enthusiasm. Everybody's here is just so jolly.
And what do you make of the Blues' chances?
I'm really impressed with how we're moving the puck right now, honestly. Also, all the talking, we know each other's names, and we're not afraid to yell for people and make ourselves known on the ice. So that's always fun.
Okay, have a good rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
After speaking to Bradley, I had the opportunity to speak to Lewis Melrose, who's one of our foundation coaches. This is his first year as kind of an official coach, when we used to just be sort of in the uni realms of things. Things were a bit more informal. Lewis would jump on as an extra body play-in, or he would sub into drills and stuff. But after seeing the way he approached that and the way he was helpful to people, I thought he would be a good addition to our squad, and in terms of coaching, and he really has been, and he's really taken it on board. He's a foundation coach currently, but I have absolute faith in him that he can make a team coach one day, be a good coach in this game. He's got so much knowledge, so much heart, and it was great to catch up with him and just hear him kind of in his element and enjoying being in charge of one of the small area games. So I'm joined right now with foundation coach Lewis Melrose. Lewis, your first half season as an official coach, how's it going?
I think it's good, yeah. I think we're working well as a team, developing well. I think there's more to come next season as well.
And what are you finding the most challenging about being a coach?
Try not to get involved. I think I want to help out as much as I can, but I know the players need to make the mistakes to develop themselves. So I just giving them the space to make mistakes and have fun.
And you're looking forward to the next half of the season?
Absolutely.
Thanks, Lewis.
Yeah, Lewis ended up actually playing as one of the girls. Got a little bit felt a little bit queasy, so Lewis stepped in to give their team a helping hand because their team was already only 6 in the 4-on-4 tournament as opposed to 7 as everybody else had extra subs. So he stepped in, helped out Team Pink. He didn't help them enough though because they didn't win the tournament. That ended up being Team Orange. And speaking as Team Orange, my next protocol for a little interview was Beth Diaz-Schoon. Beth is a former GB international player and is one of the inspirations and reasons the Steel Queens exist today. Essentially, when I was thinking about doing it, I asked Beth if she'd be on board to support it, to put her backing into it. Not at the risk of an international career, but almost just to endorse it because it's a big thing, right? And she was 100% on board. She's ended up being an assistant coach throughout pretty much the whole time the club's existed. She's taken the bench on her own and stuff when I've not been available. A truly fantastic coach, ambassador for the women's game in Britain. And it was good to catch up with her. I appreciate that I see her every week, so it sounds a bit like disingenuous to say it was good to catch up with her, but it was good to have a bit of a chat, get a small period of reflection in the tournament itself, in the Christmas Cup, and in relation to how the season's been going. From her standpoint, or someone who's played in the league for a long, long time, seeing what it's like as we take our first steps in the journey in the league.
So I'm joined with assistant coach Beth Diaz-Schoon. How are you doing, Beth?
All good, thank you, in the Christmas spirit.
And this is not your first time playing in the Christmas Cup. What have you made of the talent in it this year, though?
Much more depth this year. It's nice to see a big range of ages. Obviously, Orange has got a pip above everyone else. We'll see that translate into goals anytime now.
And in terms of the season, how have you enjoyed the first half of the season?
It's been great. Way beyond anyone's expectations, and everyone's been working hard and buying in. And we've got the results to prove it. And we've only got better to come in the second half, I think.
Right, you're about to get a shift, so I'll let you go.
Thank you.
After chatting with Beth and sorting out who was playing where next, I thought it was fitting to speak to one of the players who's actually had a little bit of international hockey this season. Laura O'Sullivan, she played for Team Ireland in the Development Cup put on by the IHF. Sadly, they didn't win any games, but Laura did score a goal, so we're very proud of her. And she chatted to me about the Christmas Cup and how the season's been going. It's her first taste of league hockey. Hockey in Ireland is pretty new, or it's very minority. But they're growing and they've got a good bunch of people over there, so we can only hope that it continues. Because it would be great as a Scottish rugby fan to have something else that Ireland are better at than us at. But it would be good to see the sport grow in Ireland because it's a great place to visit and it'd be a lovely place to go on hockey tours with. We've been on a hockey tour there and it'd be great to see it grow and grow and grow so more people want to go. So yeah, Laura O'Sullivan, everyone.
So I'm joined by grinding forward Laura O'Sullivan. How are you doing, Laura?
Good to be here, having fun.
And I think this is your first Christmas Cup. How are you enjoying it so far?
Great, good fun, good crap. We haven't quite been putting many on the board, but we'll get there. It's coming.
And in terms of the season so far, how you enjoyed your first taste of WNHL?
Oh man, it's been quite the experience. The team's doing really well. We've had our ups and downs, but I think we can do it. The team's really forming together. We've got a lot of new players, and they're really fitting in well. And I think we've got a good team this year. Looking forward to seeing how the rest of the season goes.
All right, good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
And then finally, no sort of first introduction to some of the voices of the team would be complete without speaking to the captain, right? So I spoke to Captain Lynn Sinclair. Lynn is what we call an OG queen. Lynn has been around since our first season. She's always been there and put the club first. She's one of the players who really started from not having a lot of experience in hockey to become one of the real leaders in the team, and someone that you can rely on to really rally the troops. A true team first player, just completely selfless when it comes to what the team needs. In years gone by when we've been at nationals and stuff, and Lynn's not maybe been as experienced as some of the players we need in the finals and stuff. Lynn has quite happily, sat out for the good of the team. But it's just an excellent leader, organizer, and a good laugh too. And it was nice to speak to Lynn and get a sort of, captain's perspective on things, albeit the interview went a little bit off the rails because she didn't quite hear my first question. As you can probably tell and hear, it was quite busy because everyone was still playing and stuff when we were speaking to people, so the sound quality goes up and down. But we hope you're enjoying listening, and here's Lynn now.
So now with Lynn Sinclair, the captain of the Steel Queens. Lynn, how have you enjoyed your first step into league hockey?
It's been so much fun tonight. Everyone's played so well. It's been great.
That's not what I asked you. How do you enjoy league hockey?
Oh, it's been so much fun. Everyone's played so well.
But you're enjoying Christmas Cup, yeah?
Yes, that's the best bit.
That's the best bit of the whole season?
Yeah, so far, yeah. We've not won any silverware yet. We're now playing for silverware right now. Bronze silverware is still silverware.
Pretend silverware?
Yeah, chocolate silverware.
Fair enough. Right, I'll let you go on.
So with that brings to an end the last interview from the players on that particular night. There'll be more interviews and little snippets from players, and you can check out the Instagram pages of the Steel Queens for more of the fun stuff they're doing. And by all means, keep an eye out for the Steel Queens fixtures and to get along. It's the Caledonia Steel Queens. They're at Steel_Queens, I think, on Twitter. X. Caledonia Steel Queens. If you just punch that in the search bit on Instagram or Facebook, you'll find them no problem. And yeah, please come and watch the games. The games are free to watch. And there's a 50-50, which is cash only because we can't get the card machine to work. We are trying to work on that actively. But yeah, you can come along. You can watch a game for free. 50-50 cash draw. If you want to, you don't have to do that. And see some good hockey and enjoy it and support the growth of women's hockey. It sounds big-headed, but I think we're really onto something here. You don't get 40 to 50 members of a club, each year, and it builds each year without doing something right. And I'm really pleased to see that everyone seems to be enjoying it and everyone seems to be on board. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm hoping that we'll get Ashland Rafter on the next episode. I'm hoping to do some regular episodes of the pod as well. So as I know that people are probably wondering, where's your usual rubbish takes about rugby and other sports? Where's the people from random obscure sports? I'm hoping to get that back going again. I've been pretty busy and I've not been doing too great, kind of health wise, but I'm fine now, or I'm on the mend now, and I'm looking to do more podcasts. But I do this for fun. I'm not expecting to make a career out of it unless one of you wants to offer me life-changing money to make a career out of it. But please do, keep coming back when you can. That's what these are here for. You can come back whenever you want. And please do get in touch if you are interested in any stuff we talk about, even if it's one of the old sports, the cold water dip stuff, the obstacle course stuff, whatever it is. I'll continue trying to get obscure sports to you as well, and talking about all different things. Hopefully we'll get Ashland Rafter on, and I know I've mentioned her name maybe 2 or 3 times. She's good fun. She's desperate, I think, to be on a podcast, maybe to even have her own podcast. But not only will she be able to talk to us about the Steel Queens, but we'll also chat a little bit bandy as well, which she was involved in the World Championships for that, for the only GB squad that's ever played in that. So we'll get a chat with her about that. Maybe a little bit of chat about ball hockey and stuff as well, which she's also involved in. or has been involved in. Yeah, so enjoy your. I hope you've enjoyed the pod. Is what I meant to say. You can tell I'm rusty, and I hope you guys will come back for more. And I hope this has been fun. Chatting about the Steel Queens, listening to some of the voices of it. And if you have if you are interested in hockey, even if it's just being a supporter, please get in touch. And even if it's not to play for the Steel Queens, even if you're wanting to learn to play recce or something, then let us know what you want to do, or come for a skate, or whatever it may be. I really appreciate you guys listening. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.